I'm not gonna lie, this got delayed because of Black Myth Wukong. Sorry. One of the things I want to do at the beginning of each part is cover aspects of the movie and the video I made that came up after I published. The first thing I wanted to cover was Mario's family in the movie. I am by no means an expert in Mario lore, but I am familiar with the games. So while I was writing part 2, I decided to check to see if Mario and Luigi had any family in any of the games. The only thing I could find outside of the movies was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. They would have aunts, their mom, and other relatives show up during the live action portions of the show. I'm fairly confident they are not canon, except for one episode that I watched, and yes, I watched a good deal of them, that kind of gave me some pause. Episode 13, titled Dance, where Luigi reads a gift certificate from Mario for his birthday with the name Luigi Mario.
Wow! This certificate does hereby entitle Luigi Mario to a free dance lesson from...
It aired in 1989, 3 years and a few months before the 1993 movie, which was credited for using Mario as their last name, which is canon. Then there are the two uncles, Arthur and Tony, Aunt Marie, who I had to look up, and the niece, who is unnamed and uncredited. I cannot tell you which uncle is which, even after watching the scene a few times, other than them showing up once and having little to do with anything. I don't know why they're in the film. Out of curiosity, I checked who the voice actors were, and I was surprised by one, John DiMaggio. If you're like me and just never pay attention to voice actors at all, you would be a bit surprised at who this guy played. His most notable role, for me at least, is Bender from Futurama and Jake from Adventure Time, if you're younger than me. Editing me, I also forgot that he did Marcus Phoenix. So that would be even bigger than Bender, at least in my case. And a lot of the supporting cast is voiced by accomplished voice actors, and it makes Chris Pratt's casting as Mario seem even more questionable. The last time I left off with Mario going up the stairs after his dad said he was crazy for leaving a steady job and dragging Luigi with him, when Mario's in his room, I didn't have anything that I thought was really wrong with it at first. It is somewhat relatable to some degree. We all have our low points, and we all deal with it in our own way. I guess if I were reaching, Mario was playing Kid Icarus, so he could die and get the death screen. I guess another aspect would be the Easter eggs throughout the movie, not just here, but I did notice the R Wing on the TV, prompting me to look around for other Easter eggs during the scene. Then Luigi comes in and they have a brief heart to heart with Luigi reassuring Mario that he's not bringing him down, which is a nice touch, showing a bond between the brothers. Then Mario sees the news broadcast about the sewer system causing some flooding. The over exaggerated acting and animation of the workers trying to fix it seems like an attempt to be funny, but I'm not really sure. It does set up that the workers have no idea what they're doing and Mario has an idea to go fix it. Now, I'm not sure if this was to save his business or because he wants to save Brooklyn. After the man comes into frame and says, "Somebody save Brooklyn."
Somebody help! Somebody save Brooklyn!
On top of that, they have another Easter egg in the form of a cameo of Pauline as the mayor, the woman Mario would rescue in Donkey Kong. Anyone who's played Mario Odyssey or Mario Strikers Battle League would recognize her. She has undergone some changes, or maybe retcons. In the US version of Donkey Kong, she was a blonde woman and her face was different. In Japan, she looks like the character from Mario Odyssey on the side of the arcade cabinet. At some point in the 90s, they released another Donkey Kong game and they changed her to the brunette version from Japan. I also might add that the blonde version of Pauline and Mario were in a 1983 cartoon based off the Donkey Kong arcade. It's not relevant, just something I stumbled across. I will not pretend that I know all that much about plumbing and sewer systems, but I know enough that just because you are a capable plumber does not translate to being capable at fixing a sewer system. But I guess the writer decided pipes are pipes, and who's going to know the difference? Or care? After even more shenanigans with the workers being unable to fix the flooding issue, Mario smugly says they're looking in the wrong place and jumps down a manhole. It kind of feels out of place for Mario to be smug in that manner. When they are in the sewer in chest high water, Mario says they had to get to the pressure valve on the other side of a really deep hole that water is pouring into, kind of making you wonder how the streets are flooding. In order to get to the valve, Mario decides to crawl across the pipe. The character known for jumping to the point that it's used to identify him, and did a bunch of running and jumping 10 minutes ago, shimmies across the pipe to get to the valve. The same sort of applies to Luigi outside of being identified by his jump. After all, he is the better jumper. The whole point of this part is to get them on the pipe so it can break. This is where a bit of a glaring issue occurs for me. The pipe breaks through a wall into a room that leads to another deep corridor lined with pipes and stairs. At this point, all thoughts of saving Brooklyn seem to have instantly been forgotten and replaced by the urge to go down the stairs to explore instead of finding a way back up to save the city. When they get to the bottom and Luigi just steps into the warp pipe, his motivations for doing this are beyond me, other than the writer needed a way to get the brothers to enter the pipe. And when Mario unwittingly follows Luigi into the pipe, part of this scene kind of nagged at me. This could be due to the physicist in me, but Mario catches up to Luigi, but that might be me overthinking it, and the writer wanted Mario to say the line that nothing will go wrong as long as we are together, so they can be separated a second later. The other part is the warp pipe splits in two. No other part of the pipe does this, although there is a small portion where you can see a separate pipe where it does branch off. I looked to see if that ever happened in any of the games that I have not played in a long time, and I could not find an example of a warp pipe doing that. Now, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury have pipes that branch, but they are short and have more to do with mechanics than plot. So the whole warp pipe splitting was just contrived. Now, how would I make it better? Mario, more or less, was turned into an isekai. I said it in the last two parts that the movie should not have been an origin story, and I stand by that. I don't even know if you can get the brothers to the Mushroom Kingdom without being contrived, but I'll give it my best college try. It was not an accident I pointed out Pauline as a cameo. I came up with an idea of using Pauline and not just relegating her to a cameo and an Easter egg. Here we go. Mario's up in his room playing a game like he did in the movie. It can be the same game. I will admit I was surprised they did not go meta and have him play a Mario title. Luigi comes into the doorway and says, "Hey Mario, an old friend came to see you." He steps aside and lets Pauline in. Mario says with pleasant surprise, "Pauline, what are you doing here?" Pauline cheerfully responds, "I saw your ad on TV. I thought it was cute, and I just so happened to need a plumber." Mario replies, "Why didn't you just call?" Pauline responded with a slight hesitation. "It's not a personal project, it's for the city. On top of that, it's a big project, and an old building that we are restoring. And you would be working for the city." Luigi chimes in, "What building is it?" With nervous hesitation, she responds, "The Florian Orphanage. We're going to repurpose the building." Luigi responds in loud surprise, "The Florian Orphanage? The building was old before it was closed down 37 years ago. A job like that would be a nightmare. Pauline replies with a pleading tone, I know it is, but the plumber we were contracting with just pulled out after they lost two of their people, and we need a plumber now so we can meet the deadline. Please help me out. I know you are the best plumber for the job. The two brothers huddled together with Pauline in the background, watching with a worried look on her face, biting her lower lip. Mario says in a terse but serious tone, we should take the job. Luigi responds with a surprised tone, are you kidding me? Like I said, it was ancient before they shut it down. What do you think 37 years of no maintenance has done to it? Mario responds, I know, but we need the job, Luigi. Luigi lets out a sigh and says, I know. Alright, let's do it. Pauline rushes the brothers, putting it around each of them, and with a cheerful tone says, I knew you would do it. You're both a lifesaver. Then she lets go of the brothers. Mario says, it's no problem. Besides, you will be helping us out as well. We will start tomorrow by inspecting the building. It cuts to the brothers standing in front of a dilapidated building and their van parked in the street off to the side. Luigi says in a cynical tone, I told you this was going to be a nightmare. Mario replies in a nonchalant tone, we'll be fine. Let's get this over with. The brothers walk into the building, transitioning to them going down some stairs. Mario says, alright, let's turn on the water and see how bad it is. Luigi goes to a valve and turns it. The pipes rattle and squeal, then water bursts from the pipes. Mario tells Luigi to cut the water, but the valve breaks off, and Luigi says in a panicked tone, Mario, we have a problem. Holding up the valve, Mario says, don't worry, we got this. With Mario springing into action with his tools, Luigi following suit, tightening joints and connections, one after the other, with a modern rendition of the Super Mario Bros. Arcade/Underground theme playing all along, until all the leaks are stopped. Then the brothers notice one pipe leading down a hatch in the floor along with the water. Mario then says we better check it out and make sure we got all the leaks and nothing is damaged. Then we will get Pauline to shut off the water to the building. The brothers open the hatch and descend into the room with a series of brick platforms and metal staircases embedded into the wall. The brothers climb down to the bottom, and when they get to the bottom and the camera pans out, revealing the layout being more or less the layout of the Mario Bros. Arcade, with 3 green pipes at the bottom. I know the map has 4 and 2 of them on the upper level, but I wanted to pay homage to the game, and at least it's not there for like 2 seconds and easily missed. The brothers then notice the giant green pipes, and Luigi walks up to one, putting down the tool bag, and Mario walks to another. Luigi asks curiously, why do you think they have pipes this big under the orphanage? He then steps into it to get a better look. Mario replies, I have no idea, Luigi, as he steps into his own pipe to examine one. Both the brothers are pulled into the warp pipes. They can see each other in the clear pipes, and Luigi starts to yell for Mario in a panicked tone, and Mario frantically calls Luigi as they are pulled further into their respective pipes, with both of them disappearing from each other's view. I'll end it here for the time being. Right now, the whole orphanage thing is kind of a placeholder in my head. It could be any building, even a new one. I don't know about Brooklyn, but some cities build on top of the old parts of the city, like Seattle, and I could go with something like that instead of a broken down old building. Also, I looked up some information, and cities have moved away from orphanages to foster care, which is part of the reason why I chose to go down with a broken down orphanage. As far as the plumbing aspect goes, I know that it is not that simple as turning a wrench. Some connections involve melting solder into the connections, but I'm trying to keep it simple. I'll admit that Pauline might be too much, but I figured it was better to have her work for the city for the time being, since she becomes the mayor of New Donk City in Mario Odyssey. And making her mayor in the movie felt like a cop-out and cheap Easter egg again. Anyways, if you made it this far, thanks for watching.